Brett Okamoto, UFC 290 Media Day with the champ himself, Alexander Volkanovski, who looks to defend his title once again against Yair Rodriguez. And I got to be honest, man, obviously I have questions about the fight. I have questions about the event, this and that. Every time I pull up my YouTube, you're on it, though. You're giving a lot of interviews. Is there anything that you want to talk about that, you go through all of these interviews, man, you're answering kind of the same questions. Is there anything that's on your mind? What's, hobbies? You listen to good podcasts lately?
Yeah, my Cooking with Volk YouTube channel. What about always, Cooking with Volk? Everyone knows I love my cooking, so then we could talk about that if you want.
Sure. What's
I actually did, because every time I come into fight week, just before I do it, I usually, last time with Islam, I did a Dagestani dish.
Mm-hmm.
Probably butchered it, but it was nice. It was actually nice. And then I did some tacos before we come here as well. So it's good. So a little bit of a trend that I'm doing now.
I wonder if by the time it's all said and done, you've lived your life out, are people going to remember Volkanovski as a fighter or as a celebrity chef, cook? You're going to open multiple restaurants and books out there and everything.
I think both. Honestly, it's kicking off. I think the beauty of cooking, and me I've always loved cooking, and the fact that I actually went and started doing that. Every UFC fan loves food, so they all jump straight onto the cooking with Volk, and they love it. So all good.
Well, it's good that you got a little bit of a distraction, because I was talking to your manager Ash, and it's like he's just obsessed, man. He's just obsessed with MMA, which is cool. A lot of us have different obsessions, but MMA is a hard thing to be obsessed with year round. How are you able to stay as active and as obsessed with such a difficult sport?
Well, I'm obsessed when I'm in there doing it, right? So if I'm with my family, I'm focusing on my family. When I'm cooking, I'm focusing on cooking. But when I'm in the gym, the passion is there still more. Probably, I've been saying it all day. I think it's more than ever, even now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are like, oh, how do you stay? How don't you get complacent? How do you stay sort of motivated? And I'm literally got probably more passion and more drive than ever.
Mm-hmm.
I go into these training rooms and we start talking fighting, start talking martial arts and details and techniques and that, and then I can just go and talk about it all day, and I literally bore people with it. That's how much I'm into it. These guys are new to the sport, and I'm boring them with, they got this, they think they got this passion for it, and here I am, they're making them, I'm gone, I'm out. I even have to apologize. Sorry, man, I can do this all day, or I'm gone, because that's just how much I love it. I'm very lucky to be where I am. Very passionate, and I really do have that love for the sport.
Where is it, in terms of your love for the sport? Are you still studying, some old stuff? Are you trying to create in a lab?
I think it's, I've always wanted to get better, and, just loved what I did. But right now, my understanding of the game that I have is just on a whole nother level as well. So I am just learning so much more about the littlest details, and that's just, it really, really does. I don't know what it is, but I just absolutely love it, and it's exciting for me.
Is it almost kind of a crazy feeling how comfortable you are walking out to a cage in front of millions of people and being in a fist fight, because you are so darn comfortable?
It's weird. It is. You're right. And it really is. I can literally walk out, even in Australia. I was like, oh yeah, I'll soak them up. I'm literally just trying to amp myself up, and because I'm just like how I am now. I'm just so chill and composed, which is obviously a very good trait to have, and that's why you can see. It is 100%. That's why you can see me in the deepest guillotines you've ever seen in your whole life, and then for me to be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? All right, I better do this, I better do that. Where most people will be, and then I'm not even breathing yet, halfway out, and I'm like, that's it. I'm going to get up on top of him. I'm going to make him pay. It's just that composure really does help, and just adds a whole nother level to my skill set.
I have an expectation of your answer to this, but what do you think is better, taking something from someone else or defending what you have?
They're both good. They're both good. But I'm gonna be motivated no matter what. So if there comes to a time where nothing can be taken from me, I'm going to be very motivated by just making sure no one takes it from me, you know what I mean? So if I am right at the top, even if we talk about obviously being champion and the guys, but then you're talking about pound for pound, or then, all these records, if I don't have it, I'm going to be more than happy just defending and things like that. So I'm going to find motivation with whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you for at least a little bit got to feel like you were a double champion? Because you thought that maybe you had gotten the job done? Do you feel like, even though you weren't, that you know what it feels like to be a double champion in a weird way?
No, because I was waiting for that hand to be raised, and then just absolutely, you know what I mean? You were there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was incredible. You know what I mean? It was the whole lead up to the story, like the magnitude of the fight, but then the storyline of, you know, all that. And then to have it in Australia and then think you did it, knock it, and then, like, you know, just having that moment would have really made it feel something else. But it's funny how, you know, I'm like, oh, I didn't get that. You'd think you'd be absolutely rattled from it. But I was like, you know, it stung, it hurt. But all right, play on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Play on, let's move on. All right, Yair's in front. All right,
yep.
100% focused on Yair.
Yep, and you moved on to this fight very quickly. And this is another fight, and I've told you this in our interviews before. One of the things that impresses me a lot about you is just the way you're able to make small adjustments in the fight. And it just feels like with a guy who's unpredictable and who's like, you have a hard time like maybe getting someone to mimic him, which I know you brought in plenty of people that can. But do you feel like that could play big in this fight, that there's going to be small things that happen along the fight that you have to really adjust to?
Yeah, man, for sure. I think I can take away a lot of good tools from the guy, but there's always going to be that he's very good. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, he's very good on the fly as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's always going to be dangerous. That's why he is dangerous. That's why I've been saying it all week, that he's probably one of the most dangerous guys I've fought when it comes to that striking. And I believe that. Well, at least I've told myself that in preparation. So I made sure I prepared. I made sure I bring the right guys. I bring guys that are very, very dangerous in their own regard, and not just that, they're much bigger than me. Yeah. So I've like put myself here almost in worse position to get ready for this, because that's just what I do, and that's the respect I have for Yair's game. But again, I'm going to show why I'm the man.
I mean, another thing that you do well is you pay attention to every just little fine detail. When you've rewatched some of his fights, what have you picked up on him in like times of adversity, or maybe in times of like just his mental game? What have you made of him as like a mental opponent?
I mean, everything has evolved from him. Like everything. Like you would see certain things earlier, obviously with his skill set and his ranges and things like that, and then you look at his mentality, his mental state back then, or mindset, and now that's all changed. It's all developed. It's all evolved. So you can definitely see that even in his later fights, you know, when things aren't going, he still can stay composed. But that's when things are still sort of going your way. We'll see when things aren't going your way, and you've got the right guy in front of you. Now I'm really, really going to test that mindset. You know what I mean? I've proved it time and time again. I know no matter what dangers I'm put in there, I'm going to be all right. I'm going to accept it. I'm going to play whatever's in front of me. I'm going to adapt. But we'll see when he's in them positions. Again, he's had to deal with little adversities, but none of what I'm going to give to him Saturday night.
One last thing about the fight itself, because I just love talking about fights with you. You're just so detailed on it. Is that I remember when you were breaking down the Islam fight, you said that you had to demonstrate a little bit of caution because of the shot, the danger of the shot. What do you have to be more against Yair's style, where he can land something significant at any time? Where do you have to be more cautious? Against a grappler who can get on your legs and then onto your back very quickly, or a guy who can put you out?
Oh, let's be completely honest about it. I don't think it's going to be any surprise if I say the danger's on the feet. But does that mean I can't stand with him at all? Like, I still think I'm one of the best fighters everywhere. So I want to still prove that, I can do it all. But that's why I want to systematically break him down. There's a lot of dangers there, but there's a lot of things that I can take away from him with that fight IQ, with the game planning and things that's going to be. There's always going to be other danger threats, but there's a lot I can take away from him. He's got that many tools. I will never be able to take all of it away, but I can take a lot of it away, which I know a lot of the other guys weren't doing. So let's see how he deals with that.
And last thing for you, man, I hate to obviously ask about things that are going to happen after the fight when we got a spectacular fight in front of us, but based on what you want and the way in which the fight went back in Australia, like, are you coming into this feeling like on Sunday, are we going to be talking about like, well, Abu Dhabi is booked, like we're going to see Volkanovski and Islam? Is that the conversation that we're going to be having on Sunday?
You know what I mean? Like, I can't. I'm just trying not to have that conversation right now because I've got Yair to worry about. But 100%, I want that rematch, and there's a good chance that I'll be calling for it. So we'll see what happens.
Well, it's a phenomenal fight, man. I agree with you. You're saying that Yair is dangerous. You keep saying that he is dangerous, man. I can't wait for this fight. It's going to be an action fight. Looking forward to it. Best of luck as always, and then we will see what's afterwards on Sunday.
Thank you. Let's see what happens.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.